My Nigeria people, wonder shall never end. Tinubu about to borrow $5 billion. Now hear me right. Tinubu is about to borrow $5 billion again. And according to the story, IMF, they warn, make we not allow Tinubu to borrow this money, because this man, now every time Tinubu they borrow money, I go read for and make una see wetin they write here. I beg, help me share this video. Create more awareness. I don't know how you're going to share it, but share it. Tinubu is about to borrow 5 billion, like not millions, so not thousands, billions of dollars. 5, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. $5 billion. Let me read. It said, please share the video. The IMF on Tuesday warned of risk surrounding Nigeria plan to borrow up to $5 billion through a derivative agreement with First Abu Dhabi Bank, saying such transactions are often opaque and complex. Una yeah. Now, let's continue. The IMF has warned Nigeria to be careful about its plan to borrow $5 billion from First Abu Dhabi Bank in UAE. The money is not normal loan. It is coming through a more complicated financial agreement, and the IMF says deals like this can sometimes have hidden risk because they are not always easy for people to understand. Nigeria says the money will help pay for government needs, support projects, and manage existing debt. But the IMF is warning that Nigeria should be careful because the agreement is complicated. The full risk may not be obvious. It could create problems in the future if not properly managed. Conclusion: Nigeria wants to borrow $5 billion to support the economy, but the IMF is saying be very careful and make sure you fully understand the risk before entering this kind of deal. When are the year now? Even IMF now they come, they tell us say Nigerians make una be careful because the kind of risk wey Tinubu wan enter so not be small. $5 billion not be small money. IMF don't talk and say in the future something might happen. Tinubu is borrowing. What is Tinubu doing with the money? My people, we don't know. Like, bro, waiting this up. It's not, when was that? If I'm not mistaken, that was last month or last 2 months. Tinubu borrowed the sum of how many $100 billion? What is Tinubu doing with this money? My people, we don't know. We are not seeing anything that Tinubu is doing with the money. We know the same. Tinubu they lie to the country, say they won't use it for an economic whatever this, but IMF they tell us say Tinubu they go into one kind of big risk. If they put Nigeria for risk in this hard time, Tinubu still they borrow money. Like wetin this man they borrow for since Tinubu enter office. Now borrow. Make una no worry, they go soon sign Nigeria. Now that era will they go now. Era to sell Nigeria. That is where we are heading to now. Because I don't understand why this government will keep borrowing and the country is depreciating. The country is dying. Nothing is working. Terrorists is terrorizing. Kidnapping is growing by the day. We have children inside the bush. Tinubu is not borrowing this money to free those children from the bush. Tinubu is borrowing this money for himself and his family. Tinubu is living luxurious life as a select president. My Nigerian people, make una wake up. Make una know this. IMF is warning us. Nigerians, you guys need to do something about this borrow. Make una do something about this borrow. Wait till Tinubu they borrow. Make una do something. IMF said we don't need this money. But APC, Tinubu cabinet, they want it. They want to share it between themselves. We are talking about $5 billion, not 5 million, not $5 million. We are talking about $5 billion. How many trillion is that? We are talking about zillion, not even trillion, zillion. We are talking about here. Zillion of naira. That is what we are talking about here, my people. Zillion of naira, not trillion. We are talking about zillion. That is what Tinubu is borrowing. What did they use and they do? My people, we no know. Since Tinubu enter office now, borrowing, you know. Now be wife talk which day here. If they share money, they share cars, they give APC women. They don't care about the country. So you that have it at the back of your mind, you still want to support these people to come back to power. See, make this their government happen to you. Yes, APC government go happen to you. You will want support them to come back to power. Their government go happen to you. Yes. This is wickedness. IMF, they won. We don't need this money. We don't need this money. Tinubu want to destroy Nigeria. How much they owe China? Where China they threaten our satellite of space. How much they owe China? Where not reach anything. How much they owe China? Not be the same 5 billion, be 3 billion waiting dollar. Where they go to threaten our satellite for space. Now, they want to go borrow how many billion again? I don't know what this one will they threaten now. Maybe this one will they threaten the full country, say they want hijack the country, come off our land, can't go their place. Who knows? Because Tinubu don't condemn the country reach like that. Yes. Now what will they expect very soon?